heavy fire coming from an attached garage of the two-story home. Most of the flames have been put out when our photographer arrived. You see his video there, but the garage had already suffered major damage. The scene was marked under control at 2:16 this morning. Crews then continued putting out hot spots inside the home.
Crews will probably remain on scene for another hour to hour and a half, doing those overhaul operations, reducing the damage from water. At this point, the fire investigator is on the way to determine the cause of the fire, which remains under investigation.
2 adults were displaced by the fire but did not suffer any injuries. An 8-year-old Marty Cobb is being called a hero after being killed while defending his 12-year-old sister from an attacker on Brandon Road. A teenage suspect is in custody for the attacks. Friends say Marty and his big sister were inseparable.
You never saw one without the other. Even if they rode a bicycle, both of them were on the same bicycle, so you couldn't get them apart from each other.
A prayer vigil for Marty will be held tonight at 7:30 at the Abundant Life Church. That's at 201 Brandon Road. Word of this insensible crime is spreading. There's even a White House petition to posthumously recognize and award Martin Cobb for his bravery. Hundreds of people have signed the petition everywhere from California to Connecticut. To add your name, we've posted a link at WRIC.com. Also, if you'd like to donate to a memorial fund that's been set up in Martin Cobb's honor, contact any Wells Fargo bank and tell them you'd like to donate to the Keys for Marty Foundation. Shocking new details unveiled in day 2 of the Randy Taylor murder trial. Right before he was taken into custody for the disappearance of Alexis Murphy, he told investigators, quote, "You might as well take me in because I'm tired." An FBI agent testified she found a fingernail and a stud from either an earring or a nose ring, along with a long dark hair, all inside of Randy Taylor's camper. They were found near his bed. One of Taylor's shirts was also found balled up with Murphy's blood, clumps of her hair, and eyelashes.
It's difficult, you know. It's difficult to think about what her last few moments were like. It's very hard.
Court has adjourned for the weekend, but will start back at 9:30 Monday morning. And 8 News will be there to bring you all the latest updates from inside the courtroom every evening. New details about a deadly accident on I-295 in Hanover. Dwayne Miller Jr. is charged with involuntary manslaughter and DUI, among other charges. Miller reportedly hit 22-year-old Jason Bailey, a tow truck driver, while Bailey was removing a broken-down vehicle. Police say Miller fled after the accident and was arrested soon after. If you're not a fan of biking, you may want to stay out of downtown Richmond this weekend. Several major streets are closed for the Collegiate Cycling Road Nationals. Police were actually most concerned about Friday for those who work downtown, but it seemed to go quite smoothly.
No traffic, but I also left early enough, though. Well, I didn't even have to deal with it.
People have been very nice. Most of them are understanding and out here having a good time.
Parking will be one of the bigger issues downtown this weekend. For a list of all the road closures, just head to our website. That's WRIC.com. You're invited to join the 8 News team today for the Greater Richmond Walk for Wishes. Hundreds of people in our area, along with thousands across the country, are participating in this year's event. 8 News reporter Sydney Cameron has more on the day's activities. Sydney?
Parker, is going to be a great family event, and the weather is supposed to be nice, so come out if you can. It's also for a good cause. Make-A-Wish Greater Richmond is raising money to grant the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions. All of the money raised from today's walk will go towards helping kids in our local community. Registration and check-in starts at 8 this morning at Dory Park in Henrico. The walk starts at 9, and afterwards there will be a finish line celebration. 8 News anchor Amy Lacey is this year's MC, and starting at 8 a.m. I'll be live at Dory Park bringing you updates on the race. Back to you, Parker.
Sydney, thanks. Still ahead, an Arkansas news station comes under fire for using drones to cover the recent tornado outbreak. Now the FAA is investigating. Plus, seafood fans, listen up. Recent rain is hurting the local catch. We'll explain why parts of the Rappahannock River are now closed to shellfish harvesting. Tim?
And the 8 News Storm Tracker Live radar is in Mechanicsville this morning. Well, we are quiet, but we are locked in with some clouds. We'll break down your weekend forecast when Good Morning Richmond Weekend Edition returns after a quick break.
8 News Storm Tracker weather is sponsored by Bruce. You're watching 8 News on WRIC.
We're back with a health alert. A deadly virus from the Middle East turns up in the U.S. A case of the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, is reported in Indiana. Since its discovery 2 years ago, Saudi Arabian officials say it sickened 339 people in their country alone. It kills 1/3 of those who were sickened. The CDC and state health officials are investigating. Areas of the Rappahannock River are closed to shellfish harvesting because of flooding. The emergency closure runs through May 15th, but it could reopen earlier if water quality results show it's no longer unsafe. The shellfish include oysters and clams, but not crabs or fish. Because of this weekend's rainfall and flooding, officials worry runoff may have washed animal waste and human sewage into the river. The FAA is looking into the use of aerial drones to gather news video. This is the video in question. There you see it. It was taken by KATV in Mayflower, Arkansas earlier this week. The station's news director says the drone gave great perspective of how bad the damage was after a tornado hit the area. The FAA's website says the use of drones for commercial purposes is prohibited, except in rare cases of FAA approval. Time now for another check of the forecast. Tim, a lot of people headed downtown for the bike race.
Yep.
Pretty nice weather.
Yeah, weather's not looking too bad at all. You have to head way to the east along the coast, so you get maybe the chance for a light sprinkle during the day today, but otherwise we'll see a mixture of sun and clouds. Outside right now, we do have those clouds.
Welcome back. I'm over in the Weather Center now, joined by meteorologist Tim Pandages. Tim, some clouds early this morning, but we should see those move on out?
Yeah, we should see some breaks of sunshine throughout the day today. The further east you head, the clouds will linger a little bit longer. Could even see a light sprinkle, but really nothing more than that. The better weather comes in tomorrow, so that's why I was saying if you're planning to go to the beach, I know it's early.
Welcome back. In today's weird news, a piece of rock and roll history is headed for the auction block.
Yeah, and it's expected to go for more than $1 million. The original lyrics to Bob Dylan's rock anthem, Like a Rolling Stone, will be included in a rock history auction in June. That's according to Rolling Stone magazine. The auction house describes it as the only known surviving draft of the final lyrics. They're scrawled on pencil on pages of hotel stationery. They're expected to sell for between $1 and $2 million. The auction house says the owner is a fan from California who met the iconic songwriter recently and bought the pages directly from him. I wonder how much he bought them for.
That was my question.
Probably not nearly as much.
Nowhere near. Well, napkins?
Or hotel stationery or something like that, but wow. $1 to $2 million. Well, I guess if you got that kind of money, you can spend it on.
You in on it? You bidding?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go up to $3 million. I think, $3 million? You know, why not?
You're going to get it.
Sure, yeah.
I'll stop about $3.
All right, let's talk about some weather this morning, folks. It is a nice start out there.
Coming up, hear from the woman at the center of the Don Sterling scandal as she speaks out for the first time exclusively to ABC News. Plus, new developments in the investigation of this week's fiery train derailment and oil spill in Lynchburg. Tim?
And a pretty nice weekend is ahead of us. More clouds than sunshine for today. Temperatures, though, pretty mild in the mid-70s. We'll talk about the second half of the weekend and the work week ahead coming up.
Good Morning Richmond Early Edition starts now.
Good Saturday morning to you, and thanks for joining us this morning for Good Morning Richmond Weekend Edition. I'm Parker Slaybaugh here in the Weather Center with meteorologist Tim Pandages. Tim, folks headed downtown for the bike race. Great weather for it.
Yeah, it's great racing weather for sure. It's going to be mild out there in the mid-70s. The further east you head could get a sprinkle, but I don't think it's going to make it into the metro area. Here's the breakdown for just a little bit. Parker?
Come on, summer. Thanks, Tim. The woman at the center of the controversy surrounding LA Clippers owner Donald Sterling is speaking out in an exclusive interview with ABC's Barbara Walters. V. Stiviano says Sterling isn't racist and she isn't his mistress. ABC News' Mary Bruce has the story.
For a week, she's been seen and not heard. Now, the woman at the center of the Los Angeles Clippers controversy, V. Stiviano, is speaking exclusively with ABC News' Barbara Walters.
Ms. Stiviano, you just left Donald Sterling. What is his state of mind right now?
Confused. I think he feels very alone.
You do not consider him a racist?
No.
No. Do you think he should apologize?
Absolutely.
Do you think he will apologize?
Only God knows.
The woman who recorded team owner Donald Sterling's infamous racist rant coming to his defense, insisting they had a professional relationship.
I became part of Mr. Sterling's team. I became someone who protected him, someone who took care of him.
Sterling is also breaking his silence. Talking to Du Jour magazine about Stiviano, he said, "I wish I had just paid her off." He's been kicked out of the game, slammed in the...
Now, this is a scene you don't see every day, and to be honest, I hope I never see it in person. This large swarm of honeybees caused a traffic jam in Marion yesterday. Several thousand bees covered a vehicle right in the middle of traffic. So how do you get rid of thousands of honeybees, you might be asking? Well, you call the local beekeeper, of course. The beekeeper had to be brought in to gather all of those bees back into their hives. Tim, that's from a horror movie.
What do? You call up 911 and be like, yeah, bees are swarming my car. Hold on, we'll get in touch with the beekeeper. That must have taken a while to get them out there.
What if the 911 folks think you're playing a prank on them?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Bees on a car.
That's a scary scene for sure.
Very scary.
Don't want to deal with that. All right, well, good morning.
Well, we've probably all had those days where we could have just broken something and we feel a lot better. An Idaho man is turning that feeling into a business, a pretty successful one at that. He just opened Das Break Room, literally. It's a break room, a room where customers come in and break things. Customers walk in, suit up, and pick their weapon.
Here at Das Break Room, our sole purpose is to provide a place for people to engage in recreational destruction. And what we mean by that is come in and break stuff.
Das Break Room has happy hours before and after work. If you'd like to go and break things for even cheaper with a baseball bat, there's a hammer. You can pay $3 and break one item. The other prices depend on what you want to smash. Tim, I have got to imagine we can both find something we like to break from time to time.
Where do they get all this stuff to break? You know, like, is it stuff that's still functioning?
I wonder that.
Break perfectly working stuff?
Or if you get a deal if you bring your own cell phone or your own computer.
Get a discount.
A discount, there you go.
$3 to break something. All right, that's a pretty cool story. All right, let's talk some
weird news. Have Apple's maps found the Loch Ness Monster? Tim, I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I don't know. New satellite image show a mysterious shape lurking in the Scottish Highlands. The shadowy image measures around 100 feet long and looks like it has two giant flippers. Two people noticed it at the end of last year on some satellite pictures used on smartphone maps. For 6 months, these photos have been studied by experts over at the official Loch Ness Monster fan club that actually exists. Other explanations have been ruled out, leading them to believe that it's most likely the elusive beast. The legend of the Loch Ness Monster, Nessie, has been around since the 6th century. Look at that image, though. That looks like somebody has doctored that.
It looks just like a whale.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe a dead whale.
It looks like it looks like a tadpole almost that they just blew up and put on there, you know?
But a 6-month study, it was a pretty intense study,
it was intensive at the fan club, so.
And it's a satellite image?
Yeah. What do I know, right?
You're just a meteorologist.
Exactly, right? Let's talk some weather.